Good morning. This is Road Soda. Feel free to contact us here at Road Soda Podcast at our mailing account. It is roadsodamail@gmail.com. Again, that is roadsodamail@gmail.com. Also, find us on Twitter at Road Soda Podcast and on Instagram, Road Soda Podcast. Feel free to contact us in any of those ways. Please, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a letter, a story you want to tell us, something that happened to you, a video you want us to watch, anything, please contact us. Today's episode is brought to you by $2 Shave Club. That's right, $2 Shave Club. Do you like to shave, Greg?
I shave very rarely, but I do love to shave.
You love it? But you shave. You got to shave. You shave, right?
I shave. Not a big fan, to be honest.
Could you trust a $1 shave?
I wouldn't, not on my face. Maybe on my ass, not my face.
It's a blade on your neck. How could you trust a $1 shave? Would you trust a $1 anything? Could you trust a $1 pedicure or a $1 teeth cleaning?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Why trust a $1 anything? That's preposterous to me. You know, it is also well known that our competitor, $1 Shave Club, their low prices force them to force children, not just in America, not just in other countries, but also in America, to handle their razors for them. Did you know that?
I tried it, actually, and there was a note in one of my packages that said, "Help, I'm 7 years old, in China, producing these blades."
And I had one in mine that said, "Help, I'm a 7-year-old in Iowa, please help." I don't know if that's because they were working for $1 Shave Club or just because Iowa sucks.
If you're listening, by the way, as a child laborer, you need to put a little bit more contact info in the note.
I know, we try to get to you, but that's all it said. I don't know who you are or where you are. You know, that's not all. That's not all. What makes $2 Shave? You're saying $2 Shave Club is a little more than $1 Shave Club. So why would I spend more? Here's why. Here's what makes $2 Shave Club better. Have you ever been paid to shave? Have you ever been paid to shave?
I've never been paid to shave.
Of course you haven't, because you're not a barber. You dream of it. You dream of it, right? But of course you haven't, because you're not a barber. You know, it used to be the only way to make money shaving is to be a barber, but not anymore. If you join $2 Shave Club and you get a friend of yours to also join $2 Shave Club, one of their dollars goes towards your subscription, goes towards your monthly subscription here at $2 Shave Club. If you have another friend join $2 Shave Club, one of their dollars also goes towards. Now you're shaving for free, Greg. You're shaving for free.
That's a beautiful thing.
Isn't it? And you know what happens if you get a third friend to join? You make $1 a month.
I'm getting paid to shave.
You're getting paid to shave.
That's
right. $2 Shave Club. Get paid to shave. They also wanted me to make a disclaimer on this, that this is not a Ponzi scheme. It is not a pyramid scheme. It's just a club of people that want to get paid to shave. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. This company is brought to us by the Popco Company. The Popco Company also has other similar ventures. $2 Sock Club, $2 Shit Club, things like toilet paper. They have $2 What's in the Box Club. They're trying to jump on that box train. It's just a what's in the box, and you get
it's
a box.
Exciting. It's a mystery. Is exciting.
Same idea. $2. You get your friends to join. They'll do the same thing. There's $2 Tie Club, $3 Pie Camp, and they also have the 50-cent Slots App Club. And then that, of course, begat the Popco Gamblers Anonymous Club. So you can also get on that. This podcast is also brought to you by the Big Brother Corporation, Popco. Here we are at Road Soda. Please enjoy the show. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing excellent, man. How's it going today?
It's been good, dude. Nice, good week. Been always excited, man. I'm always excited to do this. You know, this is episode 50.
Episode 50. It's a milestone.
Episode 50. It's good. It's good to be out here. Do you have so what happened this week? Anything interesting in the news you see? Anything?
You know, like usual, there's always no shortage of interesting news stories. This week, I came across an article that said the actor Ving Rhames, known for, I'll always think of him as the guy that was man-raped in Pulp Fiction. I know he's done some other things, but he'll always be the dude.
That's a tough thing to be bigger than.
I mean, right? He's going to really, really do something amazing to be not that guy. Actually, I heard a comedian that his whole joke, he had face tattoos, neck tattoos. His whole face was done.
The comedian?
The comedian. And it was off-putting because I was watching him on a video and I was like, damn, dude. Like, of course, anyone watching him, like, the whole thing. So he's constantly referencing it. He goes, I used to live across the street from a 7-Eleven and I would go in and buy, I don't know, Monsters. No, it was whatever the drink was. And he said...
Probably Monsters.
Right. So he says, at some point, I went into that place so much, he said, I come in and the guy goes, hey, it's the Monster guy. And he goes, do you have any idea how many Monster Energy drinks I had to drink to not be the face tattoo guy?
Dude, it's a Monster guy. Yeah, not face teardrop tattoo. You know, a lot of people don't know I got face tattoos.
What do you got?
Well, you're looking at it. We're in radio, so you can have face tattoos in radio.
Right, but we've got a lot of equipment, so I can't quite see directly.
I have Subway across my forehead, so I get one free Subway sandwich a week until 2020.
Nice. That's a good deal. And then you can just have it laser scraped off your forehead.
I did the math. It's like 110 sandwiches.
That's pretty good. So $500 to get a face tattoo. Mm-hmm. That's good. How much did the face tattoo cost? $
10,000.
So wait, Ving Rhames is in the news because he was held at gunpoint in his own home. He lives in Santa Monica. The police responded to a claim that a neighbor, by the way, okay, this is not someone that drove by. It was a neighbor that called and said there was a large black man that had broken into this home.
A neighbor.
He opened his door to a red dot on his forehead from a 9mm. It was the cops telling him to put up his hands.
Because the robber is going to answer the door.
Right. You know, the crafty cops, they figured, we just go down the handbook. Step one is ring the doorbell.
Step one, yeah.
I guess it was quick. It was a quick resolution because someone recognized him. The chief of police was right there. They recognized him. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure that's pretty shitty to have a gun pointed at you. But it wasn't like he was arrested and beat the crap out of him and all that. So I don't even know what he's complaining about. Come on. They knocked on his door and they pointed a gun at his face. And then it was all high fives and autographs.
Still won't trump the man rape of Pulp Fiction.
Someone had a gun on him. They went, no, it's not him. This is the guy that got raped in Pulp Fiction.
Haven't you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
I hope that's what someone said.
And he's like, man, I'm bigger than Pulp Fiction. Do you think, do you think, is he doing anything? Is he pressing charges, or was he like, you're just doing your job?
No, I mean, he definitely had a pretty valid complaint. I don't see what more he's going to do with it, but maybe he will. I don't know. They mentioned a couple other similar situations. It is kind of shitty, but at the same time, what are you going to do? The police respond to stuff, and it sucks that this is something that happens. And I don't know. I imagine if they said a large white man was in a home, they would still show up with the same...
They would have just called the house and hoped the robber answered the phone. Are you robbing the house?
He probably needs some money. Let's give the guy a break.
Yeah, you know, if they did catch somebody who was breaking in and he went to prison, it wouldn't be so bad because apparently, check this story out. Inmates in prison hack tablets and transfer nearly $225,000 into their own accounts.
Really? From a tablet?
Yeah, the inmates hack prison tablets. They got...
I read prison tablets?
That's what I said. Apparently, there are... Boise, Idaho. In a prepared statement, prison officials in Boise, Idaho said that as many as 364 inmates hacked JPay tablets and collectively transferred nearly $250,000 into their own accounts.
What does JPay? Is that the maker of the tablets?
I don't know.
Or is that the app that they use to mess around with the transfers?
JPay is a corrections-related service that provides technology including money transfer, email, and video visitation. So like tablets, probably that are super restricted tablets, and they have like one app on them, and that one app is just like does like a number of different functions for them. So if you want to transfer someone money in and out of prison from like family or whatever, or you want pictures from like your kids or your girlfriend or something, or you want to send emails, contact a Nigerian prince. I'm sure you could do it all through JPay. What I am most surprised about is that they have access to tablets in prison. And what do they think was going to happen? You give them a fork and they turn it into a knife or into a file to file the way out of print. Like, you give somebody that much technology in prison, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't like hire someone on Craigslist to come like blow the place up or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't understand the impetus for giving them tablets and access to the internet and stuff.
It's like, why don't you just not put them in prison? How about that?
I mean,
like at that point, it's like, what are you taking away from them? I don't gotta listen to my nagging wife. It's not so bad in here. I don't have to mow.
Wi-Fi.
3 hots in a cot. I got
Candy
Wi-Fi.
Crush. I can get my money in and out through JPay, so I can buy all the.
I don't gotta mow my lawn. I'm sick of that shit. It's like, yeah, it's like, please take me to prison, please. What you had? Did you anything else in the news?
Yeah, another article I came across. This one's a little sad. What's a lot sad, I guess, if you're into polar bears. A polar bear was shot by guards on a cruise ship that was up in Norway, up in the Arctic of Norway. They, the people on the boat got close to the bear. They wanted to kind of look at it and see it or whatever. And then the bear got a little excitable near them, and people got scared that they were going to get attacked.
Wait. A polar bear?
Polar bear.
Got excitable?
Well, I mean...
Now I've heard it all.
It actually doesn't say what it was that led up to it being shot, but they
were throwing like chicken nuggets at it.
It says, all right, so a spokeswoman for the German Hapag-Lloyd Cruises Company. They're like a big shipping company, but I guess they also do cruises up in the Norwegian Arctic.
Space, throw some people on there.
Why not? Which operates the MS Bremen, said that the 2 polar bear guards from their ship went on the island, and one of them was attacked by a polar bear and injured on his head. The polar bear was then shot dead in an act of self-defense by the second guard. So maybe they went to like kind of poke the thing around, so like jump up and down on the shore and like
look alive. Look alive. Tours.
It was kind of sad. I like Ricky Gervais's tweet was referenced in the article. Let's get too close to a polar bear in its natural environment and then kill it if it gets too close. Morons. Mm. And it's sad. I guess people. The world is a big tourist opportunity for everybody, and it's unfortunate. What are you going to do? Polar bear gets shot.
Do you think this is a lesson in? What do you think this is a lesson in? Not hanging around polar bears or not taking a cruise to the Arctic?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with a cruise to the Arctic. I don't know that it would be.
You know what's fun? Being freezing and miserable. I like when I look out just seeing endless white snow.
It's cold up in Canada, but is there a way I can get on a boat and go out into the ocean like further north of that and really be freezing?
Yeah.
But you know what? If you go in the summertime, it's probably nice, and you're seeing some green.
Yeah, it's probably like
it's nice up there right now.
34 degrees.
I'm sure it's still cold. But it's like a rare thing. You don't have to
grab your parka. We're going on a cruise. Jesus. Some other interesting thing happened in Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Jefferson is in Arkansas. This comes from KATV. That's an Arkansas news outlet. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says that 69-year-old Patricia Hill has been arrested and charged with capital murder after admitting she shot and killed her 65-year-old husband for ordering porn on TV. Yeah, and just like that, there goes the last guy to ever order porn on
I wonder
TV.
how she found out. Did he tell her, or did she see it on the bill, or did she walk in on him and
she saw it on the bill, man. That's why people don't do it anymore. And just like that, he was the last person to ever do it.
I've been saying it for years. They need to be more discreet with the porno billing on your cable bill. People are dying.
I know it should say humanity's documentary is what they should all say.
P.S. Why is he paying at this day in 2018? Why is he paying?
All right, let me read it again for you. 69-year-old Patricia Hill killed her 65-year-old.
Get with the times, people, or you will get killed. That's what the lesson is here.
What is the lesson? I like to have takeaways from all our news articles on our lessons. So I think that wraps up our news, right?
That wraps up our news, yeah.
Wraps up our news. It was a bit interesting week in news. It's always interesting. Got our different news sources and whatnot.
Every single... I scoured the news for thousands and thousands of articles. Those are the only two that I came across that were not Donald Trump related, and I think we've got enough of that already.
And even the polar bear one is kind of Donald Trump related.
That's true. I got a lot of... Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of anti- and pro-Trump mail regarding the polar bear article.
Hey, that reminds me. If you guys ever want to email us anything, please email us at roadsodamail@gmail.com. Also, Road Soda Podcast, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Nice. Yes, we are Road Soda Podcast is our Twitter handle, and we will be continually updating you on what is going on in the world and whatnot, and little non sequiturs.
Yes, any kind of interesting news stories, we love to retweet them. So please follow us on.
I am going to look for Patricia Hill's husband's password to see if maybe we can get onto some of those sites now that he's not using it anymore.
Well, they're not sites.
They're not sites. Oh, he was just getting
their
it
movies.
TV.
You know, but I would like to see if
I
we
bet
can
you
call...
he's got some passwords too. If he's buying it on TV, he's got passwords.
You're right. I think I would like to get a copy of that bill because I want to know what killed him. What was so important to him? What did he need to see so badly?
We're gonna have to wait for the court transcripts, and we're gonna find out it was soft core or like Skinamax type stuff. Yeah. Then everyone's gonna go nuts because it wasn't even
Pizza
anything.
Guy Delivery 12.
But then the music comes on before the real action happens, and they cut to the next scene in the movie. And it's just, that would really be a shame if he died.
And it's all shots like chest up, Yeah. So, it was a really good. This episode is interesting. We have some. We're trying to stay on topic with a lot of things that are going on. And you know what's huge? What is absolutely huge, sweeping the nation, sweeping the world. Fortnight. You heard of this yet?
I have heard of this. Yeah, it's a scourge in my house. We'll get into that momentarily, but. Yeah, it's a video game. I'm sure you can give us some details on it. It's something that's been out. How long has Fortnite been out for?
It was released in 2017 is when it...
just last year?
Yeah. Well, so the game itself is actually... It's actually a... What is really exploded is Fortnite Battle Royale. And it's so Fortnite is the game. And one of the game types within the game is the Battle Royale where... It's free to play. The thing is, there was an actual game. It's called Save the World. So Fortnite Save the World, which is the original game type that was on early release, and you could download it. It was like maybe $15 if you downloaded it on your Xbox. And it was like you and friends would be in this massive world, and you would create a fort somewhere and collect weapons and all that stuff, and fight off waves of zombies and waves of like whatever is coming at you. But they did this. Then what happened was there was a game that was made called PUBG, which is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. And Player Unknown was a guy who modded a mod, which is... So there was this game that came out... let me bring up the game. I want to go all the way back, give you the full history of this game, if you care to hear it. He's over here rubbing his head like
you're just getting into the weeds with it. No, I like that though. I
want it. Why not? It's really interesting. So there's this game called Arma 2, right? And it was this Arma 2. Okay. And then there was a mod of that game, and a mod is like they took it. Somebody took the game and it's all the same game, but they changed a couple things, and they turned it into something different. It's called DayZ, which you're on a massive map. And with other people, and you're just trying to survive. You have like a backpack.
Zombies are coming for you.
And zombies are trying to come for you, but there's also other people, and that are there like.
And they're online.
They're
this is
online.
one of these massive online.
Yeah, maybe not massive, but it is like 100 people on like in one server thing.
Okay.
And you have other people also just trying to survive, and you can either team up with other people or some people you can't trust.
And you win if you're the last guy standing before the zombies.
I don't know if you're actually competing against other people in the sense of trying to like kill them or stay alive, because some people end up working together. It's mostly just the zombie. It's a really strange game, but yeah. So then he took that game DayZ and he just turned it into what we're talking about, which is a 100 versus 100 battle royale, and he based it off of a movie that came out in 98 or something in Japan called Battle Royale, where that's where he drew inspiration from. It's like a bunch of high schoolers on an island that are fighting till the death. One last one standing wins, and so that's what the game is. And then so PUBG created their first, PUBG was the first creation of this battle royale scenario. And what's funny is they actually built it on an engine called so Fortnite is made by a company called Epic Games, and Epic Games created Unreal Tournament and Unreal, and they also created what's called the Unreal Engine. For instance, a game engine is like editing software for video games. It's what you would use to create a video game. And so they built this game, and now a bunch of different companies use that to build their video games. So they used Unreal Engine to build PUBG, and they essentially just kind of like took the entire idea of this battle royale concept, which isn't technically like stealing, because like there's first person shooters. Everyone's got a first person shooter, and then they have like 4v4 matches. It's like you can't be like, well, we did the 4v4 match. You can't do that. You can't do the. So it's really touchy, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, how do you kind of.
Like carve out your special
your special thing. He might have come up with the first one to do it, but then they released on top of, so they released this game called they released the Fortnite Save the World, and that's like the game, and then
but that's not the one that has taken the world by storm.
Right.
Battle Royale Fortnite.
Battle Royale is and then they released shortly after Battle Royale. They heard about this PUBG thing, they saw it happening, they had this whole thing built and ready to be shipped within like a few months.
And they were like, it's too close. We don't want to, right? It's almost exactly the same thing. So we got to add our next level, which was what?
What do you mean?
Well, the building thing is like the main difference.
Oh, well,
right?
yeah. You can do, yeah. I think it is a big difference, but that was already part of the original Fortnite game, was building, because you would be with your friend and you'd build stuff and try to create your fort.
But I thought you were saying the reason they didn't release the Fortnite Battle Royale at that time
because they just didn't have it yet. They just didn't even think to do it. And then all of a sudden PUBG started getting really big, and they're like, we can do that with ours.
Oh, okay.
And so they just did it, and then they released it free to play. And so the whole
You can't build in PUBG, though.
I think to an extent you can do some stuff in PUBG, but it's definitely not to the level, like, it's a huge aspect of the game of Fortnite is being able to rapidly build things.
And then the other thing with it is, so basically, I know we got back to the Atari 2600 version of the history, but basically this game it's a first-person shooter. There's 100 online players at once. They all drop onto this little island, and then it's the last man standing wins the game. And then the two big things that I think differentiated from some of the other ones is, number one, this building thing. So a guy starts shooting at you, you can immediately like build a little fort around yourself. And B, the storm thing. I don't think that's available in PUBG. Also.
It is part of PUBG.
It is part of PUBG.
Because if it wasn't and the map stayed at the same size, the games would go on for 100 hours because you could just hide somewhere.
People would just hide.
And you can never find the person. So
that's a great innovation. So this storm, like every several minutes, is closing in, forcing all the competitors that are left into this middle spot.
Right. Your circumference of the area that you're playing on continues to shrink.
Yeah.
So
I actually saw one time where at the end, the storm encompassed 100% of it, and there was only 2 kids left, and the kid just built up like 100 feet.
There's a video online. You've seen that video? Or were you watching it live?
I thought I was watching it live because my kid, we'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, I saw a video where there was 2 guys left. One guy clearly was not, the veteran guy. He was screwed. This other guy just built up all the way to the top of the screen and then just sat there with his gun, like, go ahead and try and come up, and the other kid didn't even have anything to do. And then he just died because of the storm. That's like the wait now thing. Yeah. But it has definitely taken the world by storm. I think the demographic of like 10 to like 15 probably, and I know there's tons of people that are older than that, but 10 to 15, you're playing Fortnite. Either you're identifying yourself as a Fortnite player, in which case you're an annoying, nonstop advocate for it, or you're one of those kids that you have to at least identify. I'm not a Fortnite guy. I don't play that crap. It's that big, I think. You're one or the other right now.
Either you do or you don't.
You do or you don't, yeah. I mean, it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. It's huge. You can play it on iOS, on your phone. You can play it on. They're about to release it on Android.
Can you play it on any other platform, like all the game?
Yeah. So Battle Royale, Save the World. You can only play on like PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4, but you can't play it on the Switch. But you can play Battle Royale on everything: the Switch, your computer, your phone.
Wait, what can't you play on the Switch?
Fortnite, Save the World.
Okay.
So that's like the original game.
But that's not the one that people think.
Nobody's really playing that.
Everyone's playing.
You know, they might play like hours and hours, and then of like online, like Battle Royale. But then they go with just a couple friends and like, yeah, let's just play the Save the World thing, and then they get on and play Save the World.
Or as a parent of a couple of kids in this demographic, I think it goes more like this: they play hours and hours, and they're like, all right, I'm finally bored, and they shut the TV off and they hear their father yelling, "You guys got to clean your room up," and they go, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like playing Battle Royale. Let's try Save the World. That's more of a Save the World scenario.
Save the world. How about save your head from getting put through the wall because you're not cleaning your room? Man, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game play type, and it really has. It's swept the world, and it's so crazy because the game's free, and so the entire there's over 125 million people playing this game, and it shot to that level in like less than a year, and it makes like millions of dollars. I don't know how in what period of time. It's like a week or like a day off of microtransactions. So if like you have 125 million people, if just 1 million of those people a day purchase $1 worth of content on your game, like, oh, I want that skin, I want to have this, I want a skin as like an outfit that your person's wearing.
That's the thing that makes me laugh about the monetization of this game, because what we didn't mention is that the 100 participants, no matter how good you are or how many times you played, everyone drops to the ground with nothing, and then all the competitors run around trying to gather equipment and weapons and stuff. So they can't really sell you like a good gun or like ammo or whatever, because you'd have an advantage. So, you know, a kid with money would consistently beat out everyone else, because a lot of times a bunch of kids land in the same spot. If you're the last one to get a gun, you're dead because you don't have a gun. Everyone has a gun. What are you going to do?
And then there's it's a perfect kind of ratio of different types of skills. And what's so brilliant, if you look at the best players in the world of the game, there are people that are just they're first person shooter veterans, but then there's also people that became really good at the building aspect, and that brought them up to that world-class level. So not only are they good at the first-person shooter, going on and kill things, but they're building also that whole other dimension to that game. Adds to how good you can be, and there's this level of luck that comes with the game. Like you just maybe drop, because not only that, you can go to the same place every time. A weapon might spawn there every time, but it's not even going to be the same one. Yeah. that would come up there. So the map is always the same. It's always one island. They're adding things every once in a while and changing things, but the island is generally the same. Yeah.
The luck aspect is, like you said, where are the drops? Where are the things? And also, you go to the same spot and no one else goes to it, so you have your run of the equipment that's there. But you might get screwed because 5 other kids out of the 100 all thought to go there at the same time. Now you're screwed because you're on the ground, far from the equipment. Everyone lands on wherever the stuff is. Right, and you can get screwed pretty quick.
There's just so many variables, and skill has a big set in it, has a big play in it. But it's taking the world, man, taking the world by storm. You know what we should do?
What should we do?
Let's go to the source. Let's talk to somebody who really has that inside view to what we're talking about.
Do we know any hardcore Fortnite enthusiasts besides yourself?
I think you do.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think of it. Yes, in my own home, I have a couple of young Fortnite enthusiasts who would love to talk to us. And I would love to have them pontificate a little further from that fanboy perspective of what this craze sweeping the nation is all about.
So let's do it. Let's bring them in.
Let's do it.
All right, we are here with Greg's two lovely sons.
That's right. Could you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Jack.
And I'm Ben.
Nice.
Now, how old are you guys? Jack, how old are you?
I'm 12.
I'm 9.
And Ben's 9. All right. So, how did you guys first hear about Fortnite?
School.
So they teach it in school?
No, there's everyone talking about it at school.
Everyone talking about it at school this year or last year? Was it just last school year?
It was in 4th grade.
In 4th grade.
So last school year.
Yes.
So like when you started school, were people already talking about it? Like first day of school, that was the big deal, or did it start during the school year? Do you remember?
It started like everyone. It was out for like a long time, like in June and July, but then it really got popular in like December, and then it like really went crazy in January.
Okay.
So was there like a particular like one friend who was like, man, you gotta? Who was it? Who's that friend?
My friend Alex. He was like all at the bus stop. He's like, you gotta get Fortnite, dude.
You gotta get Fortnite.
How about you? Was it Jack that got you into it, or was it someone in
It
your
was Matthew.
Matthew?
Oh, he's always about his Fortnite.
Yeah.
He was on Lent for the first 2 weeks, so you got to watch me play Fortnite for like 2 weeks straight. He was like planning about, I don't play Fortnite. So
Oh yeah, that was an interesting thing. We're not Catholic, but Ben took it upon himself to.
I played mobile.
Yeah, he played on someone's
He
phone.
played mobile, so his Lent, what do you call it? The thing that he abstained from for Lent
for like a month.
was just Fortnite on the.
Nothing
So
extra.
Ben-
He just
The
swore off
whole
the
Xbox.
Xbox.
Oh, that's right. It was
No
the whole
Netflix, no
Xbox.
YouTube on
No,
the Xbox.
it was just games.
But he found a way around that. He went on everyone's phone and just did everything on their phones.
That may be the first.
Yeah.
That may be the first kid to abstain on the. Just the Xbox, just games.
And now
for
you
Lent.
didn't make him do that.
No,
No, you just wanted to.
He just found the loophole.
And then he
went
found
through
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Found the loophole, went right through it.
That's great. That's great. So it was your friends at school, and have your friends at like Alex and Matt? Did they ever show you any other games? Were they ever like, yo, or is that like a regular thing? Are they always the first person to like?
Not really,
Find
but
it,
like
you know?
my friend Alex shows me a lot of cool games that I actually have on my Xbox right now, like Star Wars Battlefront. That's really fun.
That was a good one.
Matthew just showed me Fortnite.
Matthew just got that Fortnite. Does Matthew have an older brother?
He has 2 younger brothers.
Oh, okay.
I used
Cool.
to think Fortnite was so cringy because everyone was talking about it. You know what I mean? At school, I was like, oh my god, we're still talking about Fortnite? And my friends were like, you have to get it, dude. You have to see. And I was like, I don't want to get it. But I
So
played addictively.
you played.
Yeah.
So
they both
when was
play.
that first time that you're like, fine, I'll play Fortnite.
Well, like Alex was the freshman for like a whole week, and I was like, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it. He's like, just get it, bro. It's free. And I got it, and I was like, whoa, this is not bad.
Did you play for the first time with
I
Jack?
played it a little bit before Jack.
Always just a little bit before me. I'd be right there.
It was
What
like
is-
I'm here. He has to be right in front of me all the time.
That's the brother thing, man. That's what it's like.
Even though he had like a 2-week thing of just watching me play Fortnite, I was there before you.
I was playing Fortnite on mobile though.
So you guys started playing at like the end of the calendar year, right? Like around Christmas. Were you already playing Fortnite by Christmas?
No, we like
January,
February.
February. Okay. So all right. So since February, I have the stats. You guys gave me the stats off the Xbox. Just in solo matches, because you can do solo, duo, or squads.
They also have like limited time modes, like 50-50, where like there's 2 teams of 50. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. So here's the stats for solos, and they share an account. 707 matches. Okay, that's some serious
And that's
Most of those matches.
life avoidance.
That's true.
In their 707 matches, they have 215 eliminations, solid for a 9 and 12-year-old, and 50 places in the top 10. No victories. What's the top that you've ever ended with, Ben, in a solo?
2.
2?
I literally got number 2 the other day. I was so mad.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta go kill that dude. He lives in his parents' basement. He's got
That's
endless
what I was saying, that's what I
Doritos.
was saying.
if you can't
That
kill
guy's
him in the
girlfriend
game.
just dumped him. He's just depressed. He's playing Fortnite. It's like a antidepressant.
And 175 finishes in the top 25, which is not super impressive because you can just kind of hide at the edge of the storm.
Yeah, but why would you
Hey,
do that?
it's not a shot.
I
I'm just
will
calling it like it
That's
is.
how you-
kill solo squads win. So you can't be saying anything.
All right,
Greg,
but
you-
clearly
But
this
if
is
you
a...
told someone how you gotta win and you have like one kill, they'd be like, you loser. Like you just stay in a bush the whole time and just hide from everyone.
Maybe because they also don't have any wins, and they just want to make it seem like your win isn't that cool.
Yeah.
A win's a win, baby.
That's totally what it's all about. So we know when you guys first started playing and how long you've been playing. What can you talk to us about? Like, what is your goal with your endless hours of Fortnite? Or maybe you could tell us kind of how your strategy has changed, or what you're looking at, or what are the general thoughts you want to tell someone about Fortnite as a kid that's played hundreds of Fortnite matches?
I would say my goal was to get a win and then just walk in and just drop into a conversation and be like, "What's up? I got a win last night."
That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. Now, have most of your friends gotten a win, or nobody's gotten a win?
I know a couple of people who got a win. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
You end up playing with like 37-year-old dudes who like.
Right. They have those gloves, those special fingerless video game gloves. You're not going to
Yeah,
beat a
you
guy
can-
like
by
that. He
the
probably
way-
has a headband on, a sweatband.
That's ninja.
No
That
shirt
is
on,
a
no
ninja.
shirt on.
Ninja is the number one player. Sometimes the number two. It just depends.
Ninja's the number one player,
Like
huh?
the top 3 players are like TSM, Myth, and then like Ninja. All this, they're like professional people.
Who's your favorite?
I like Ninja.
Ninja? Ninja. Why do you like Ninja over Myth or these other guys?
Well, I mean, they're all really good. I just like Ninja because his streams are so entertaining, and like Myth is more of a fast builder, so like he'll build up around himself a lot, and he'll get like half as many kills as Ninja because Ninja just goes all out and just.
Yeah, I've heard a big gap in Ninja's game is that he's not paying attention to the traps a lot. So things like traps, he's just because he's so hard-headed getting in there, he's gonna run into a house and just get killed by a trap.
Yeah, just the other day, I was randomly walking. I placed a trap because I thought maybe I would get killed, and like 20 minutes later, it says eliminated like an Omega, which is like that's like a really good player. And I was like,
You see that?
yeah.
And then you just out of nowhere you can just kill him. That's the great thing that's the beautiful thing about that game, is that you can
Bringing young kids together across the nation so they can get headshots on each other. And then the trash talking. It's beautiful. How about, what do you think could make Fortnite better? What would you suggest? Nothing. So this
Okay,
guy's
chill
a
out. I have a
hardcore
couple
fan.
things. So they have the 3 basic modes, which is solos, duos, and squads. But there's a lot of talk recently about playground mode, which is like a new mode where you have the entire island to yourself, and you can just build and do whatever you want. They should add that permanently to the game, like as creative mode. You get an hour of just doing whatever you want, any location by yourself. It's really fun to like learn the mechanics of the game. So I feel like that should be the permanent thing.
And right now it's
Cool.
just like a play type that
LTM,
they're limited time mode.
Yeah, it was there and then it was gone. But then I thought you said it came back. So is it there?
It's still here. It went away, and they always do like the popular game modes they bring back is like V2, and like
What was V2?
version 2.
Was that another one of those limited time things, or was it just like an update to the original?
Updated to the playground modes. Like they added all the new stuff because they had a big update recently.
Although the only reason that they took it out was because it was going to be a new season.
So what does that mean? Talk to me about the seasons.
There's only 5 of them.
So far, we're like in the midst of.
So what's the
season
difference?
So-
So we're in season 5. What's the difference between season 4 and season 5?
Well, season 4 has this thing called the Battle Pass. Probably we have it. So like the Battle Pass, basically you get experience and battle stars from doing certain things. It's like a daily challenge thing, and the more stars you get, the more rewards you get, and you get skins and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Which is like a different outfit for my guy,
Yeah.
or
So you have like I think like 70 days, 75 days to just do all the challenges.
Sometimes.
And
it's
so
over
75 days is the length of one season.
Yeah, you have a long time, and they separate it out in weeks and daily challenges. So if you don't buy the battle pass, you can get tiers, but it's way slower. And most of the tiers don't even have rewards. With battle pass, every single tier is a reward.
Okay.
so if I do all these things, I can get. What are the 2 things? I can get the skins. I can get a different outfit and the
Skins.
dances, right?
You need cosmetics, really. It's really all you get. Cosmetics, emotes,
Cosmetics.
Pickaxes, contrails, gliders.
Oh, right. So my pickaxe will be different. Like you guys, right now, you don't have a pickaxe. What's that thing you have?
Yeah, we do.
Balloon pickaxe.
It's a balloon.
It's a
like
balloon.
made out of balloon.
It's like a balloon animal thing.
And so the people that see you with the balloon pickaxe know that you completed
Like
whatever the blank challenge, whatever
yeah,
the challenge
tier
was.
15.
Right.
That's when you get that one. So we're like tier 27, I think, right now.
Cool.
No, we're well over like 20.
That's
5.
That can be
So
20.
We're
do you,
like 30.
so do you guys see yourselves as being professional gamers, Fortnite players, or something down the road?
No,
No.
not even close.
What do you see yourself doing for work? This is our closing. What do you see yourself doing for
Dad,
work?
I thought this was about Fortnite.
It is about Fortnite, but I
This
just
is
want to
all
see if you
an
can see
elaborate
beyond.
trap.
Dead sad.
So,
I just wanted to see. So you clearly have no plan beyond Fortnite.
well, what are your goals within the game? Like, let's talk about like what do you want to reach to in the game? Obviously, everyone wants to get that W, be the number one on a. But what happens when you get that? You want to just keep doing it?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Like after they get one, they'll go into the brag to their friends and they try to get another one.
Right. Because there's always going to be someone that's better at that. I mean, like, I got a win. I got 2 wins.
Oh man, I need to get 3 wins just to show this guy.
I got 3
Then you can
wins.
show up at the lunch table and say, "Hey, no win. Get up. That's my seat." Bam! That's a beautiful thing.
I need to have Fortnite.
What else? Do you guys have any more comments on Fortnite? I really have appreciated giving us the inside scoop. I know it's the number one topic of conversation here at school, on the bus.
So, Greg, how come you don't play it?
It's not
Because
really.
he's terrible at it.
It's not really my bag. I do play a little bit of video games, but I really only play the one game, which is
Madden.
Madden football, because
I don't even know you play that. You get so
Because you're good at it.
yeah, and I don't even like to play online because I like to relax. As you know, I have issues with relaxation. I'll go online, and if I play a kid that is, for example, you play one of these kids that is really good at it. It's not even good though. Like he just knows the special moves.
Yes, he picks the Patriots. Okay, so they have the best team, and then he decides to just throw it downfield the whole time, and no matter what you do, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
That's
The
why
worst
Dad
ones
throws
are
the
the
chair across the room, freaks out.
the worst ones are those kids that know how to use the hit stick thing. So every time you get the ball, they can cause a fumble, and then it's not fun because it's like I'm trying to work
Well,
on
there's
my
a way
run
to
pass.
counteract that. Like if
I know, but I'm
someone's
not
doing
playing
that,
like-
there's a way to.
Probably. I just don't
So
put
it's
that
just
much
not
time.
fun
in.
because you're not crushing.
I want to
anymore.
find another dude that's not playing 500 hours a week with the unlimited Dorito supply and the fingerless gloves,
That's right.
so we can just play football, not work on. I know all the tricks because it's just not
I mean,
fun.
it's true because there's a lot of people who like go out and after Fortnite, a lot of people went out and they bought like the professional controllers, the Xbox Pro controllers. So like a regular Xbox controller is like $50, which is kind of expensive, but the Xbox Pro ones were like $120.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, it's the same thing except they have a couple of extra buttons. So like it probably makes building in Fortnite easier.
I've always thought that building, like using the controller, is always going to be. Are you guys good at building? Is that your game, or are you more of just shooting them,
Blind
aiming?
shooting.
They're really good at collecting the opponent's bullets from distance or up close.
Especially up
I would say
close.
that's Ben's number one skill. Eliminated, and that light comes out. He's very quick with that. I think everything's doing well, and he just turns the tables on me. I'm just busting your
Well,
chops.
see, like, there's other games that are just like it, like PUBG, that I'm actually really good at. Like, I average, like, 8 kills a game on PUBG, because there's no building. Building's so annoying when you're, like, after you've seen, the same style of game, but with no building, it's so much harder. Fortnite's so much harder, because at one time you could see someone and just hit them 3 times with, like, a Dragunov, and then they'd be down. But, like, in Fortnite, you have an assault rifle. It takes, like, 50 shots, and they're, like, building up above you. It's so annoying.
It really adds a whole nother
Because you
aspect.
should get some skills with sniping.
It's tough, yeah. You guys are gonna.
Let's flash back to this morning when I killed you 3 times with the sniper.
Oh yeah, now
I
he's
was
playing.
fired.
Now he's playing on the PC and he's playing on the Xbox. So
Oh,
he-
it's
Yeah.
all the same. Oh, excellent.
I guess right. How do you guys get into the same room? Can you do that?
We epic friended each other, so like.
Oh, epic friends to each other.
Oh,
The
Epic
game,
Friend.
the company's called Epic.
You know-
Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? And then
So he's getting out in front of this whole making fun of thing, huh?
and then you just do that, and then you can play with each other.
That's you never epic friended me.
I
Too late. We're
Now
already
that I
epic
know.
friends. You guys are way behind us.
Damn.
Well, I know you guys are awake, so you want to be playing Fortnite, and we're pulling you away from it. I appreciate you taking 14 minutes out of
14
Fortnite
minutes.
playing to talk about Fortnite, so you can go back to playing
14
Fortnite.
minutes, we need to go back, bro.
I think you should ice your thumbs so you guys can get that
I
kill,
thought Xbox first.
get that solo victory.
There you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. And do you anything else you want to say before? Huh? There's your chance. The whole world, all of 3 people are listening.
Stop 3 people.
Yeah, I know. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So thank you so much to Jack and Ben, who are your sons,
A resident Fortnite experts, we'll say.
residents in your house playing Fortnite. So
Literally.
what is it like for you? We heard it from them. You know, obviously they're huge fans. The game's a great hit with the kids, Greg, is what I'm trying to say. How do you feel about it?
It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's a daily fight to get them off of it. But you know what? School starts very soon on Monday, and they're very limited during the week on the video games. So I don't mind if they piss away their weekends with it. I mean, we have some scheduled activity, and they get some stuff done. I mean, they're little kids. I don't have that much for them to do. So I don't care if they do much on the weekend. But during the school year, we cut that stuff way back. I know you're supposed to really be like 1 hour screen time or 2 hours in a certain age group or whatever. We're way out of that right now. It's ridiculous. They should probably, DHS could come take them. But we tone it back down for the school year. So luckily, Fortnite's reign of terror is about to be over.
Reign of terror for you.
Yeah.
So why is it such a terror?
You know, it's just a pain in the ass. You put all this time into bringing these kids up and trying to introduce them to stuff, and they just don't give a damn about anything except staring at that screen and shooting guys that they don't know online. It's ridiculous.
How does that that makes you feel kind of
Like a failure as a parent.
how does it make you feel like a fan? Why? Look, man, it's hard to compete with that. It's hard to compete with that level of entertainment.
I will say this. Prior to Fortnite, the earlier video craze that they were into was Minecraft, which I think is boring as hell. So at least this is like them running around shooting stuff. Like, if I walk into the room, I can watch them play Fortnite for a minute and not be bored stiff.
Right.
Minecraft, I still don't understand. That is the most boring goddamn game in the world. It's like digital Legos.
Exactly.
With nothing happening, nothing completed. There's no victory. There's no nothing. In Minecraft, every once in a while I would play. There was a mode. Are you familiar with Minecraft at all?
Yeah.
So there's a mode where you can, the snowball thing, where you get put in a multi-layered, multi-floors, and like you and someone else throw snowballs at each other, and you try and blow the floor out, and you keep knocking the other guy down until he falls into the lava. That's like the only Minecraft aspect that I could get into.
Right.
But even that, I was like, the graphics suck. It's like big blocks. Everything sucks.
That's what it's just it's for a very particular part of the brain. It's not for the competition part of the brain. It's just for the the creative building with Legos. Like when you're building with Legos with your friend, that's what you're doing. But this is that you were just building with Legos. That's all you were doing. Now they're just doing it online, and they always have the Lego set. They have an infinite Lego set, and then they can play with their friends, on the other side of the planet, build Legos with other people.
So I do like Fortnite better than that because I think Minecraft sucked.
Minecraft really sucked.
And Fortnite's about to be wrapped up a little bit because, like I said, the school year's in. We'll reel that shit in. But, they have a fun time with it, so whatever. I played a lot of video games when I was a kid. Nintendo came out when I was in, 9th grade. Mm-hmm. So same diff.
I may have asked you this before. What was your, Nintendo game that you really just
there were
some into?
few. When I first got it, I was one of the guys that got that set, at that time where you got 2 games with it. It was 2 games on 1 cartridge. Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt is super limited, so I played Super Mario Brothers a million hours until I got a couple other games with it. But I think the first game that I really put a lot of time into, crippling, real percentage of your life time wasting, was Legend of Zelda. Took me forever to beat that game. Months.
But you did it.
Yes.
I never knew you played Legend of Zelda, did you?
A real good friend of mine in high school was so into it, and he had this Italian mother, and he would just skip school. He'd be like, I'm not going to school today. So I'd come home on Tuesday afternoon at 2:30, get off the bus, And I'd knock on his window. I'm like, dude, what's up? And he's like, I'm almost through 4th level. I think I'm making a connection. I mean, you couldn't just go online and figure stuff out. And I'm like, dude, you've literally been in bed for like 7 hours. Like, nah, I got up a couple times to do whatever. And I was like, you're so full of crap, dude. You've been playing it for all day.
You were just a little jealous that you couldn't do the same thing.
Well, the thing is, once he figured out what the deal was, then we all rushed home and we could get it done. You know?
Right.
And then it was like, what's the next thing? So it wasn't about how many raw hours you put in. It was those 5 or 6 things. There was one level that was really hard. You probably don't remember the original Nintendo Legend of Zelda.
No, I'm not particularly. I never actually played it, but I know.
To get to one level, remember Nintendo was big with those little codes. So on the control pad, for a lot of things to get unlimited lives or whatever, up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start, would get you like unlimited lives.
That sounds really specific. Is
it
that
was
the actual one?
That was the actual code for like a lot of games. But in Legend of Zelda, you're on a screen where like you run to the left and then the whole screen shifts over to the left, up and down. Each screen was like one block, a big pixel or whatever. And there was one spot to get to the level. You went into the forest. It was called like the never-ending forest or whatever. And if you didn't do it in the right sequence, you could just keep going right, for example, forever. And it would never get you anywhere. You could keep going down forever. You keep going up. If you went to the left, to the right, you went back into like the actual map. But if you went into the woods, I forget what the code, but it was like up, over, down, up, something. You'd hear do 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 do, and then you go to the right, and you were like, oh my god, I've been doing this for hours, and I figured it out. And then you pop over, and there's a little rock, and you push up against the rock, and there's a stairwell, and now you've actually made progress. And it just felt like you got some shit done after all those hours of just being pissed off scrolling through. It was a way different world without the internet, obviously. Now, like when they got a Wii, even that was probably like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. We beat every level in, what is it, Mario World? Super Mario World.
It was the side-scrolling one where you could play.
Yes.
Oh, that was great.
That was a tough game, and there were a few points where I was like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. We could just go online and just say how to beat level 8-2. Or there was one level that was like in the middle of the lava. You didn't need to get it. You could go around. But someone told me about it, and then I said, how do I find level 8-2? And it told me, and I was like, this kind of feels, cheap.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still got to go do it. You still got to go through the stuff.
It's not easy just because you know. I had a friend of mine, this was, so it was right when the internet was out, and but I didn't have like a computer or like internet where I can just look stuff up at that time. And we would play games. It would be like fighting games, and he was like the first guy with like good internet. And so he'd have like all the cheat codes and everything printed out.
What was his DSL, or did he have a cable modem?
No, it was a dial-up.
Dial-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he had. I remember his computer dialed up real quiet. I was like, I don't know how he got to do it. Everyone else's computer, the whole entire like house would sound, but his was just real quiet. You could almost not even hear it. And I was like, dang. And oh man, what a great time that was.
What was the game?
I got there. Yeah, so we'd be playing like a Tekken or something, some fighting game, and then I'd come over and he'd start like beating your ass, and he would.
You playing that online?
No. We'd just be playing together. So yeah, let me start the start over again. He had computers and like internet, and
he would just showboat, and then he'd be like, "All right, let's play Tekken." But notice you can't hear like your noisy ass modem, loser. You don't even have the internet.
Oh man, I just lost track of what I was talking. I went off in another direction, but that it'll make sense in a second. So I didn't have internet, and so we would play. We'd play like PlayStation or some shit, and we'd be playing like Tekken, and he'd be beating my ass, and because he'd know all these combos for all these moves and how to beat my ass, and I'd be like, man, how do you do that? How do I do a Hadouken with this? How do I do that? And he'd go, figure it out. I'd be like, what do you mean figure it out? And I was like, did you figure it out? And he'd be like, he wouldn't really like, yeah. But I knew he would just print out all the cheat codes and go up and look them up online. And I just didn't have a way, and he would make it sound like.
What's the guy's first name?
I ain't.
Whatever, you know who you are. Total dick move there.
He'd be like, figure it out. I'd be like, come on, man.
Hey, why can't you beat me? I have the power of the internet and you don't. I mean,
figure it out. And I would just have to keep asking him, like, man, I don't know how to do it. Like, I would just sit there and I'd be like, I would try to figure it out. Yeah. I can't do it, man. He just beat my ass over. Bam, bam, over and over.
Wait, you just made me think of, there was a way prior to the internet to get all the cheat shit. And it was actually pretty cool. Nintendo came out with that
Game
stupid
Shark.
magazine.
Oh.
It was called, maybe they were the same. I don't know the timing of them all, but the one I remember was Nintendo Power.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go get Nintendo Power, and you had to. It would do exposés on a few different games per issue, but like the Mario ones were always heavily featured because that was like their thing. And so you could look in through Mario Nintendo Power and be like, oh shit, I can get to whatever on Super Mario Brothers 3, and you could like get cheat codes, or they'd give you. Sometimes they would say. It was never like, hey, Konami games, you can always get unlimited lives with this. But it was always like, from certain games, you could, get this type of code. And then you'd be like, oh, shit, is that on all the Konami games? Or is that on all the... Who's the one that did Double Dragon?
Oh, man.
Not Konami. And it's so weird that we knew the names, because there was only like 5 makers. There was Tecmo, Konami, whatever the Nintendo, like Super Mario Brothers and all that was. I think that was just Nintendo, right? There was a couple other ones, but there was one, and they all had their own little code. So once you knew that, like Contra was a side-scrolling game where you and another guy.
Everyone's.
You remember Contra?
Yeah, if everyone Contra is like
that was a big game in like
Legendary, yeah.
stand up at a pizza place, stand up, put in a quarter video games because it was perfect for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do remember Nintendo Power was the first thing before the internet, other than you just had to know a guy.
So yeah, you would have to just know the guy that sat in his room, took off from school. Open the window. I figured it out, guys. I love that. But hell yeah, man! Video games. It's great to know that they had because you're not, that what you were probably, in high school.
When Nintendo came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was just going into high school when I got my first Nintendo. I
And
think
since
if I was in high school when it came out, I might have missed it, because my older brother, no video games whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's passed on since, but when I think of him in that time period when he was alive and video games were around,
just missed that.
yeah, he was. What are you dorks doing?
Yeah.
Geeks,
Nerds.
really? And a control pad? Why don't you go give that to your boyfriend or whatever? He just didn't even get it.
You don't even get it.
And we were only a few years apart. He was just in that prior era. There was a cutoff.
Nice.
I think about that with computers. If you graduated any time before me, you didn't get much computer work in school at all. So that means you left your formal schooling with no computers at all, and you went to a place and they were like, well, you're going to be sitting in front of a computer, Bob. What? They didn't tell me anything about this in school. I don't know if I want to do this. Whereas my age and younger, because I took computer courses in school, and I wasn't like a particularly big into computers guy. And we had to take keyboarding. It wasn't a typing class, it was keyboarding. I mean, it was basically typing class, but it is different to type on a keyboard than to type on a type. Have you ever typed on a typewriter? Mm-hmm. I had like one of those really cool IBM Selectrics with like you just touch it and it typed.
Ooh.
It was like automatic. It was nice, dude. The thing weighed a lot. It was wicked heavy.
Not a little.
It had this big, huge ball with all the keys on.
Oh, okay.
Instead of like an old school where they were all out there and you'd hit one and it would swing. The Y was way over here and the A was. This was a ball. It was just like it was so much quicker. And you hit just touch the key and that thing.
Wow.
And it had a thing where you could have the whiteout, like a little whiteout thing in there, like a whiteout. It was almost like a long strip of whiteout. So if you were like backspace, I mean, you had backspace on a typewriter. That was kind of a cool function. Obviously, once word processing came out the window. But
the window.
Yeah, but it's all timing, We're literally, people our age are right on the cusp. I would say your age too, because kids born today going forward, they got cell phones and computers are so embedded, like the Internet of Things, they call it, where like your TV has the internet and your fridge has the
They're
internet.
all connected, yeah.
Yeah, like I remember, I put it out on my Facebook. Someone sent a picture of there was a refrigerator at Home Depot that had the internet in it. Have you seen those? And someone put like a porn site on the fridge in Home Depot, and that was like a thing that it was like a meme or whatever that came through. And I put that out to my feed, and I was laughing my ass off. And older people were like, "Why would you eat? What is that even about? Why would you need the internet in your fridge?" But young kids were like, "Yeah, of course you have the internet in your fridge. I'll have a chip put in my elbow at some point that'll give me Wi-Fi connectivity because it's a pain in the ass to not be on Wi-Fi."
I know.
I want to make myself a hotspot.
I don't care. I will be a hotspot. Yeah, that's because everything's connected to Wi-Fi. It's just it's a crazy generation, man.
There was a brutal hotspot takeover. This is like a 2025 news story. 3 eighth graders totally took over this kid's personal hotspot and just abused his data package. It was so helpless. They just took my password and just used me.
I couldn't do anything about it.
I didn't have any more data for the whole month. It was my elbow.
No. But so I think we need to choose a. We're supposed to be choosing a Netflix original.
Yes, the next installment of the Millenial Book Club.
The Millennial Book Club. I know everyone loves the Millennial Book Club.
Everyone loves the Millennial
AKA
Book Club.
just fucking watch it on Netflix.
Netflix. But specifically, the high quality original Netflix programming is what we're sticking to, because you have all kinds of access on Netflix. But we've been sticking to the original stuff because they're just pumping it out. And
we want to be
plenty of
your
good things.
first line for reviews, for the Netflix reviews.
Wanna
Of course, if you guys ever want to suggest something to be watched, so we can. And what happens is we announce that we're going to watch it, and then next week we talk about it. So if you hear this episode, you can watch it too, and then talk and hear what we have to say, knowing what we're talking about.
we looked at a few different things. We had talked about. I just saw recently. I don't know if you've watched Ozark with Jason Bateman. Mm-mm. Ozark is an interesting series because Jason Bateman in the beginning, like, there's no spoiler here. This is like first 10 minutes of the whole thing.
So you've watched it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The first season. He's skimming money. He's doing some money laundering for like some bad dudes, like big drug dealers. And then the whole thing goes awry, like right off. And he has to move out of New York to the Ozarks to do his thing. So the whole first season, I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. It's 8 eps. When these guys sign on, they get 8 eps. They have an awesome opening, and they know how they want to finish it to like leave it on a cliff. Sometimes you run into a problem in the middle where they're like, oh, we got 3 episodes to go from here to here, right? It's an A to B to C, and we're already at B. We don't want to go past C. B becomes really long and just kind of repetitive or whatever. That happened with Ozark. There was a couple eps, and my wife just jumped right off. She was like, nope, not interested anymore.
Just I get that. I've had that.
Because you
feeling
watch
in
like
show
4, and then you watched number 5, and it didn't go anywhere. It was just kind of like they were trying to repeat all the little points, and then you're like, I'm not watching multiple episodes of this because there's 3 left, But I stayed with it, and I definitely think Ozark was good. And season 2 is coming in like just a few weeks.
Oh, so you did like it?
I did like it. I absolutely did. My wife jumped off, which makes it hard because that was one of the shows that we were watching together. But it's a great one. I started watching Glow, which is, are you familiar with Glow?
I read it. It was like the female wrestling thing.
Female wrestling. It's like a vehicle for Mark Maron to. Netflix wants to throw some money to Mark Maron to kind of get in on literally everything.
So Mark Maron made it?
He's the manager of the lady wrestlers, so he's got a huge role. And then Alison Brie, who was one of the big characters from Mad Men. You know who Alison Brie is? You might know her.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to...
And actually another guy from Netflix who was not as big a character had a decent role in it. I only watched a few, though, so I'm certainly not suggesting Glow was good. I did watch some of it. I just couldn't get into it. Other things we were talking about is I watched F is for Family. That's the Bill Burr show.
Have you watched both seasons?
No. Have you watched both seasons?
Yeah.
I've watched like...
I love it.
I'm on Ep 6.
It's great.
It is great. It's one of those shows that I would turn on like Friday at 11 after the whole family went to bed. I had a few beers in me. Maybe we went out and we came back. I'd flip it on, and then I would pass out halfway through whatever the episode. It took me a long time to get through the 6 eps because it was like strictly after 11 on Friday, and I'm just...
Bow.
Yeah.
But it's a great show, man. I watched them all. And,
it is funny.
There is a... And not only is it funny, but it's like one of the realest shows on television. It's just like King of the Hill as far as its realism. Even though it's a cartoon, there's still... Like, there's things in it that happen, you're like, oh, that's like... It's over the top. But that's what makes it funny. But at the same time, there's... The emotion in it is real. Like, it's like the realest family...
Of the 6 eps that I saw, there was nothing over the top. It was very banal. Like, one of the episodes is he buys a new TV for the boxing match, and it's like way more than... Was that the first episode?
First episode, yeah. Because I've watched that a couple of times.
Oh, all right. So, but in, like, the 6 that I saw, none of them have fantastical plots. They're all him reliving his childhood. Clearly, each of those episodes was something that happened to Bill Burr in his life.
Exactly.
It was funny. It was a good series. I'll watch the rest. There's just so much to watch that sometimes I get into something, I can't watch 87 episodes of something. You know?
I feel I have the opposite. Like, there's a lot to watch, but it's all dog shit. I have a hard time just watching anything that's like I'll just start scrolling through them, and I can tell so many times from just looking at it. It's very rare that you look at it and you read it, and if it doesn't sound like, oh wow, it's probably not good.
If it doesn't grab you,
it doesn't grab you. And because there's been things that like even I'm semi kind of on the fence about it. I'm like, that sounds like it could be interesting. I turn on, crap, and the stuff that sounds like okay, yeah, could also be crap, but has a better chance of actually being like decent. Because I think there's just so much. There's so much.
But there's also like history too. You can get these old shows and you'd be like, maybe does that still hold up? I never saw it. Maybe it's good. He's gonna be 13 this week. My oldest. I come home Wednesday, and what is he watching on Netflix? Cheers.
Really,
dude. He was on like ep 8. He was just sitting there ripping through them. He's like, I was looking for Friends. Someone mentioned me. Friends was a show that I might like. I couldn't find it. I came across Cheers. I think you had mentioned it. He was like, yeah, it seems to be pretty funny. Cheers. He watched. I sat down and I was immediately like, holy crap. I've seen all these like 20 times. And he's sitting there watching episode 9 of Cheers, which I thought was really funny. Which had the dude that plays Shooter McGavin, plays a baseball player. You know anything about Cheers?
Yeah. I don't know how much you want me to know.
Well, no, I just thought it was funny that Shooter McGavin, whoever that guy is, was in like one of the first episodes of Cheers. It was just kind of funny to me. Wow. It was a pretty cheesy show, but it was funny. I liked it. So
what do you? I would like to watch it too. I mean, did you forgive him for all the Fortnight stuff when you saw it happening?
It's an ongoing thing. What are you going to do? We deal with what we have to deal with. But we had talked about a bunch of different shows, and I think I'm getting the head nod from you that you are saying this movie, an original movie on Netflix, The Ritual. I figured
we should watch a movie. We haven't watched a movie, and you know what? I'm not. So let's take a look at The Ritual because it's sort of it is an original, and it's well outside of the wheelhouse, I think, of this show and for.
What would you call it? It looks like it might be like
It seems like a thriller, so I'm going to read the blurb. The Ritual. 4 friends with a long-standing but strained connection take a hiking trip into the Swedish wilderness, from which they may never return.
The Swedish wilderness. So wait, is this going to be like a foreign film? Is it going to be like subtitles and stuff?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so. It's only an hour and a half.
So it must be like Brits then?
Could be.
If it's Swedish, you wouldn't see like American dudes going to the Swedish.
Well, either I think it'll be something good to watch. Chances are I'm not too into this type of movie. I can't tell you the last movie I've watched that was in this.
Are you talking about the horror genre or the hiking genre? Is that
both.
A genre?
Just the thriller, horror kind of genre. I really haven't. I don't watch those movies. They're just. It's so
formulaic.
It's formulaic. It's.
Well, sometimes they do it. They do it interesting though. Like if they get you with a jump, or usually these movies I find have one twist that's got some interesting something to it, and they build the whole movie around it, and then they do a bunch of. You can tell that was the thing that got them the pitch, that got the movie, and they just like fill in the other 88 minutes, and then you're like, oh god, I feel like. I'm watching those 88 minutes 90% of the time.
Right.
If you like the hook, then it was at least worth it.
The guy walks into the meeting. He's like, I got an idea for a movie. So there's a killer. Or what if?
We've all seen that before.
But what if a killer was in your dreams? Because then you can't run from them.
Bam. You know what? And they're going to say, we haven't heard of that for 30 years. Maybe the kids are ready for it.
But I mean, when he first originally went in, that's how they pitch it, and then they just built the whole thing around it. But this movie, I don't know. This could be anything. I think it would be. So please, everybody, join us and watch The Ritual.
Netflix original film.
The Ritual. And we'll come back. We'll talk about it next week. And so, everyone, thank you very much thank you to our sponsor, $2 Shave Club, a Popco company. And, of course, everybody, if you want to reach us, you can always reach us at roadsodamail@gmail.com. Again, that is roadsodamail@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Road Soda Podcast, Instagram, Road Soda Podcast. Just look up the Road Soda Podcast. Why not? Contact us, please. Thank you.
There you go. Thanks for cracking another road soda. See you next time.